President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev have been negotiating over nuclear arms issues.
The Geneva Summit was the first summit in which the U.S., France, Britain, and the Soviet Union sought to end the Cold War, disarmament, Germany, and economic ties were discussed. It was the first step towards easing Cold War tension, but ended in stalemate. The Reykjavik Summit was in October of 1986. It also ended in stalemate. Gorbachev still refused on the SDI, and Reagan was not going to compromise. Reagan strived for progression, but still no progress was made. The SDI was Reagan's strategic defense initiative. It was a satellite in the sky for shooting down enemy missiles. The Berlin Summit was probably one of the most influential. Reagan called Gorbachev to tear down the Berlin Wall. This was a ceremony in June 1987 where Mr. Reagan gave his famous speech telling Gorbachev to tear down that wall.
The Washington, D.C. summit was one of the most significant because the disputed INF issue was resolved with the signing of the INF Treaty. INF means Intermediate Nuclear Forces. This treaty officially reduced the number of nuclear weapons present in the USSR. This summit took place on December 8, 1988, and both leaders left on good terms. The Moscow Summit was in the spring of 1988, and the INF Treaty was made official and ratified. At this meeting, good relations continued. The Reagans even attended a ballet and a monastery in Russia. The two leaders even called each other friends. The last summit took place in New York in 1988, and even President-elect Bush was also present. This took place on Governor's Island. The meeting was very good, and further support of the Soviets' disarmament was instituted.